Alright, foot pedals all seem to be working. Everything's worked out correctly. Here we go. Getting over it with Bennett Foddy.
Oh.
Let's see, did I remember correctly? Yes, okay. Back on the cardboard boxes. Let's get another... Let's get the mouse under my hand a little bit and figure out... Just get back used to it. I don't want to do anything too quickly or carelessly is the word I was looking for. I just want to get that chance to like get that feel again for okay, for what I need to do. Okay. Who knows? Maybe this is the day that the soreness of my body may be just enough to just put me over and figure it all out. Get to the top. You know, one of these days we'll have to actually get to the top. I guess that's not necessarily true. It could just be that we eventually learn... like, maybe I do just give up and determine that the game is beyond my skill. But, like, I certainly don't want to believe that's true. And I don't think it is. I think it's just persistence. And eventually, I'll get it all figured out to the point of where I can make it to the top. I think there's just probably many hours still ahead before we get to that point. So probably not tonight, but I remain hopeful that with some more hours of work we can at least get to some new heights. So far it's actually going pretty smoothly. Okay. Oh yeah, that was I say that and then everything starts falling apart, of course. Yeah. That's why you don't have hubris. Or comment on anything being good ever. So between last stream and this stream, there was a time I was at work, I just needed to listen to something, and I loaded up somebody else playing this game, and oh my god, I can't tell you how much I needed that. Just to get a chance to see somebody else engaging in these same struggles. They hadn't played as much as I had, they were even newer than I was, or than I am. And like, good lord, oh no. Let's not make that a thing this early on. I needed it so badly to see, yes, somebody else is having these same issues, and then some. They were pretty flaily. They had a playstyle that was very willing to just play very aggressively and fast and just and like they'd luck into certain things, and sometimes it would work out, but it was maybe it's just when you're not playing, it just seems so much easier than it is, and like I was just succumbing to that same thing that I always feared people think when they watch my failures in this. Maybe it was just that, but it looked like it was just so uncontrolled in a lot of the motions. And I'm sure over time he'll get better at it, but God, did I need it. It made me feel so much better, not in the sense of like, oh, I'm so much better than that, but just in the I'm not alone kind of sense. Oh shit. And there it happens. Alright, well, we didn't start at the beginning, but we're basically there now. Let's get back to where we were. Let's recover. Or, you know, lose grounds. But I got to witness the, you know, the first time that he fell down, that same thing that I just fell down now, and just what that did to a person. Now, granted, he was wearing a mask the whole time, so I didn't truly see, like, the look on his face, but you didn't really have to. You can infer certain things based on, what he said and body posturing. Certain things were just perfectly clear about how that felt. I was certainly feeling a lot more in control of this situation right up until that. The like falling down the pit. I was like, you know what? For all my just like having taken a week off and still getting back used to it, we're starting off strong. But no, we're starting off typically. I'd say everything about this seems decidedly normal, boringly normal. Oh, come on. out, up and over. Okay. Up to there. Shake it all out a little bit. That was an unintentional one. It just kind of brought my hand down on the mouse after, and just made myself thwack the wall and paid the price. That one was a more intentional one, but hey, now we truly are starting back at the typical beginning again. All things are the way they should be. The world is right again. In how wrong everything is. Well, you know what? Real quick, I realized there's one more program I need running on my computer. And just kind of a background processes thing. This should take just a moment. I think it'll log in. I'll need another moment in a second, but it's working. I had a power. Most of the stuff is usually just running all the time on my computer, but had a hitch in our power last night, and my computer actually turned off, which it's not used to doing. And so certain things that I haven't yet remembered, like, oh yeah, I usually have that running. There we go. Okay, and then one more step just to make sure. Okay, fully logged in, and it's fully doing the things. MJesterBot is now fully operational. That's there, and soon we'll be at my least favorite part. Not there yet, but it's a-coming. It occurs to me, I usually try and pull myself, but I find the rock too smooth. Maybe I should be doing more pushing like that. Yeah. That's a new technique. I mean, probably a very obvious one for a lot of people watching, but a new one to implement that I think I'll get some good usage out of. I wonder if that'll help me in like the section we've gotten to the orange hell, if there's something about that I can implement to... Just based on how I remember it, I don't think I can do a similar thing. That wasn't really the problem. It wasn't this kind of incline that I just... Yeah. I don't think that'll immediately solve that problem, but... Just need to keep in mind. Sometimes there are other ways to approach something. It's not all drag. Sometimes it's push. There we are. Least favorite part. Maybe we can just get through it nice and quick, or, you know, follow all the way back to the beginning. That's one way of getting through it nice and quick, is just exiting it and going all the way back to the beginning again. Usually it doesn't go that poorly. Oh well. It occurs to me, I should probably turn it so that y'all don't see those notifications anymore. Not that I feel like I'm doxing anyone or anything like that, but it's just definitely information y'all don't need. Of just like, this person keeps signing in and out of games or whatever. I don't even know if I need that information so constantly. I'm not going to bother changing that right now, but something to keep in mind. Maybe turn off that capture. If I take a break at some point, I think I can alter that pretty quick. So if I take a break and I remember that I was planning on doing that, I think it may be as simple as a toggle on my game capture. Hopefully someone can help me remember that when the moment comes. What's up, Meh Industries? Right now, a lot of recovery from just an unfortunate fall towards the beginning. A couple of them, but generally going alright. How's it going with you? Unless you mean me, like, personally. Like, game-wise, that's how it's going. As far as me, feeling intense amount of soreness from did a I don't know if you're familiar with it's kind of an obstacle race called Tough Mudder. It's like just miles and miles of obstacles, and I did that yesterday, so body's a little bit tender at the moment after like a 10-mile obstacle race thing. But feeling good, feeling very accomplished as a result, just also very broken and like my body doesn't want to exist. Yeah, so it's that. Friend of mine who will probably wind up in chat later. Definitely tiring, yeah, but in a good way. Got a buddy who, if he shows up here, will be Draco Lichby. The two of us were doing that yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. We did it once before, like 8 years ago, and I was really worried that it would be the type of thing where I'd be like, oh god, like I am not as young as I was 8 years ago, but it actually went way more smoothly overall than the first time we did it, so it was pretty good. But now I gotta pay the price. I'll ask you the question that I ask a lot of people here. Have you played Getting Over It? Or, I guess, generally, how familiar? Are you someone who's played it, someone who's watched it, or is this your first viewing? And of course, if you have played it, you have played it, okay. Gotcha. So last time we were in here, we had somebody who was actually, like, you made a few videos on it. Do you speedrun it, or just play it? So I know we had a speedrunner last time. And if you are, I'm curious about, like, what kind of time you make. Just casual play? Okay. Then never mind. You probably don't have an answer to that. Yeah, last time we had somebody in here who I'm trying to remember what I think they said their time, like they got it down to like about 3 minutes, which I know is certainly not on the level of like world record, but yeah, we got to be graced by somebody who's actually like good at this. 13 minutes is still not bad, certainly by comparison. How many? Do you know about how many times you've beaten it? To like how many times it took to get down to 13 minutes? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Congrats on like 26. Okay, wow. And is that like 13 minutes? Is that something you feel at this point you can do like relatively consistently, or that was just like your best? Like no matter what, I'm sure the answer is you're by comparison like amazing at this. But yeah, I was curious like about how consistent you are with that. Good lord, do I hate this part? I'm just so bad at it. Once I get past here, I'm like okay for a little bit, but oh, the 13 minutes was pure luck? Gotcha. That's still pretty amazing. It's what, like 5 times through to get the, like, you get like a golden, oh man, we came up, we found what the name of this tool was, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Like, the tool, though, I can't remember the name anymore, but, you get like a golden one after 5. Average is like 26 to 30 minutes. I assume that's average for not, oh, your average, yeah. At first, I interpreted that as like the average to play through this. I was like, there's no way that's true for a first playthrough anyway, but I gotcha. It's not a sledge specifically, though. We put in the effort last time and kind of looked up and figured out what specific tool this is. And I remember we got a satisfying answer, and I can't remember what it is. I'm sure if I went through my browsing history, I could find it. Like if I went to like last Sunday's Google searches, could find out. But it was like a very specific kind of hammer, like not just a sledge, and I can't remember what it was anymore. I may have to look that up. Alright, I guess I'll bite on this part. Like, we've seen this part over and over again. I've always talked about how frustrating it is for me. Do you have any, as somebody who's played this much more, do you have any tips on, like, any secrets on this part? I've certainly done it many times, but I don't feel like I've got any consistency on it. Every time I get through, I feel like it's just because I kind of lucked into it. I'm just really terrible at the, like, little ledges sticking off the wall. Just go fast. That's generally been what works for me as well. It's just like I feel like the less I think about it and the more I just go, the more it's worked out for me. But okay, I'll try that. Fuck. No, stop getting caught. There. Just do it, like, real bad at doing the, try to do more circular motions with the slide. I gotcha. Alright. Try that. I've indeed been doing more, like, into the body, kind of straight ones. You know, I like fucked it up at the top when my hand sort of slid off the mouse, but that was that advice was kind of working. The like better circular motions. Maybe it was just something I was finally doing right that time, but I'm gonna try and keep doing that because yeah, wide circles was kind of working out for me. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Wide circles. That went way better. I'm hoping I can continue to more consistently open it. Or, more consistently do that. Oh, no, totally. I recognize that, but you've played and beaten it a lot more than I have, so... And, like, generally I want to just figure things out on my own, but that part in particular has just always been such a frustration for me. I figured, see if I could get advice, and, pro or not, your advice seemed to help out, so thank you. You should feel good. You've done a good deed today. Saved me so much frustration there. In a way that I think I actually can maybe kind of reproduce with some consistency.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. As the audio file says, thank you so much. So we've been, this is what, I think our 4th session playing this, usually a few hours at a time. Still got a little bit to go before it's stuff we haven't seen, but we're at what I understand is colloquially known as Orange Hell. That's where we're stuck, and you know the name seems pretty fitting. Oh yeah, one more question, I guess. If you know the answer to this, we've kind of given up on the idea that there's any way to go up that slide to the left. Do you know if there is actually a way to do it? Like, is there stuff up there if you just do it right? Yeah, I'm in the same boat, honestly. You know, the VODs that may or may not still exist, at least some of them exist, not since the beginning, they can back me up on this, but I feel more zen than anything when playing this. When I lose progress, it's just a thing that happens. This is... If you're looking for full-on rage when it happens, this won't be the stream for you. But, no stuff up there, you think? Okay, yeah. We'd tried for a while, thinking, like, maybe there was something, and it started seeming impossible. But good to know. But yeah. Like, is there frustration? Damn it. Is there frustration after a big fall? Absolutely, but not in a, like, mad sort of way. Just a, man, I guess we're gonna have to redo that. For me, this is all about not only the challenge of it, but practicing that kind of just remaining calm and just accepting what happens.
Oh, no.
Which I feel like is a useful life skill, to just kind of have a chance to work on that. What's up, genius? Welcome back. You've come just in time to get back to where we left off last time, though there's definitely a big fall between starting and now. Lost FedEx pack. I'm not sure if we've gotten to that yet or not. I've seen a speed run, so I've like seen everything that's coming, but I don't know it all that well. I've never otherwise just kind of like, other than that, out of the curiosity of just what does a truly world record kind of time look like on this, haven't really watched a lot of gameplay. I did a little bit, but that was after I started. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, this section is. I gotcha. Yeah, I like that part. I certainly like it more than that little wall that I was talking about, the frustration wall up before it. I'm not doing as well with it as I was like last session. I feel like I was smoother last time, but I'm still kind of getting things back under my hands.
No.
Oh, nope. Too much. Still just making, like, every once in a while, just doing motions that are too wide and wild for then, like, compared to what I'm intending. The bucket in the snow. Yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet. I've seen it. I think I know what you're talking about, but haven't yet gotten there myself. I'm hoping to get to new territory tonight, ideally, and not just keep redoing the same stuff over and over again. But, you know, if it happens, it happens. Attack and defense by Shido Kira. I'm not familiar, so tell us about it. And how recent is this current reading? Like, have you gotten through much of it yet, or is this like truly really new?
No.
Down you go. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can get a good grip on these stairs. Don't love them, but I know they're not that bad. Yeah, there we go. Pull in. And up. Alright. Much better. Now we're back to the part where I was like, okay, things are going smoothly. I can starting off okay. And then came a series of mistakes and fall and completely lost momentum. Let's see if we can avoid that part this time. Oh. Whoop. And so one of the things that happened at Tough Mudder yesterday was, so you go through a lot of mud and water and everything like that. And I had some belongings in a waterproof bag, but I was not diligent enough with it. Because, you're like crawling around on the ground and stuff. And so like clearly the like triple zipper system that it had, I managed to undo it. And long story short, or not especially long story, normal length story short, I managed to kill my phone and my car keys. And then I got my shoes muddy enough that I wanted to throw them away. So there's been a lot of just like replacing things today for me. Been kind of working on that. But it gave me a good excuse to get a new, not exactly especially sexy phone, but a new phone. So I've been getting that set up. It's basically the phone I had before, but a newer model. Started reading it yesterday because I want to see if you could learn anything from it. Elementary Go. Oh, it's about Go. I've still never learned, like, the actual... I think I may have a vague idea of how Go works, but I don't know the exact rules. That's really cool, though. Was there anything in particular that got you thinking about Go? I know it is, like, basically the world's oldest strategy game, and, like, it's a great example of the, like, easy to learn, impossible to master kind of thing. But that's really cool. I guess it's not necessarily the playing Go that's recent, it's just the reading the book. Like, is that something you had been playing a lot up until that point? No matter the answers to this, I still find it really cool. Like, Go is fantastic. I got distracted. I saw a rustling in the background at the wrong moment. Come on. Okay. I know I've gotten out of this pickle before. There we go. Okay, back to Orange Hell. So this is not quite the exact moment that we haven't gotten past, but getting pretty close. All right, let's do the traditional. I was going to try and knock that off the hill, but there we go. We'll put it that way at least. Oh, absolutely. It's not even the lifting. It's, for me, the strength thing is about the angles that he can maintain. Like, the, you know, holding that position. That takes some core strength right there. To be able to just maintain that for as long as necessary. Only got utterly Herculean strength. You learn Go so you can participate in a tournament and a strategy game community you're in. That's pretty cool. But yeah, how's it been going? Do you feel like you've indeed been learning some useful stuff, or is it still kind of developing? Or is it like the type of thing where you only really know once you start playing against somebody else? Okay, not the worst. I need to keep remembering, as long as I don't really launch to the left, I only lose so much progress with that. I was worried about that, though. I was like, I think that little scoot I did is not going to be especially stable. And sure enough, it was not. Lost control of the mouse there, as it always is. Just start just adding up the mistakes and adding them up until eventually you're just not even close to doing what you want. Okay, you've been playing for about 10 weeks. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I know anybody, if I've ever met anybody else that I know that is like truly learning and playing Go. I think you may be the first, and I still maintain that's pretty cool. It's as close as it comes to basically being a Pai Sho player. Uncle Iroh would be so proud of you. And what more do we really want out of life? I was going to say, Genius is going to be so mad at you for saying that. He's been constantly saying that I need to ride the snake, and now I know what's going to happen. Nobody has told me what everybody told me I need to ride the snake. And admittedly, yeah, I was probably going to do it. What's that?
Did you ride the snake?
No, but I've now been warned by somebody in the know that riding the snake will make me go all the way back to the beginning, so I should not do this thing.
Oh.
I've been encouraged to leap over the precipice towards my own doom, apparently. Oh, damn it. In a much more major way than that. Hey, what's up?
I'm cold. I need to steal your heat.
Yeah, go for it. Steal away. I'm still warm, if anything, so you grab all the body heat you can. What am I doing? But yes, your attempts to thwart me they've failed. Thanks to Met Industries has saved me. I will not forget this. There's a telltale like thing over my head that says Jay will remember this. I know somebody in here's got my back and somebody doesn't. And to be honest, I don't know the answer to that, because part of me is like, I mean, I feel like the answer is going to depend a lot on how things are going and how much of a struggle it was at that moment. Because indeed, I'm like, man, I know I would have if it weren't for that. So like, do I need to maintain the purity of like doing what I otherwise would have done if I weren't warned? I mean, let's be clear, riding the snake or not, there's going to be plenty of trips back to the beginning, so we'll all get what we want no matter what I do. Other than, you know, me reaching the top. We won't get that, but here we are. That day will never come. And I'm just stuck in this Sisyphean hell for the rest of my days. to before the tree. I did a fall like that from Orange Hell, so been there. I know what that'll feel like. But indeed, truly, the beginning, you say. Yeah, we'll have to see and when that moment comes, like, how difficult it really was to get through all the stuff up until that point. Like, there's a non-zero, but admittedly low chance. Maybe I'll still ride the snake just because I always said that I would. I mean, that's fair. You never claimed to have my back. But I still now know the answer to that, of whether or not you do. Oh shit. Okay. You know what's at least going a little smoother than last time is I'm not yet doing the death grip on my desk with my offhand, so that's something. Snake is a must. All of basically complete. Oh man. I mean, much as I'm glad that's the case. The problem is, unless that snake is like right at the end, I don't know that it'll qualify enough in my eyes. Come on. Nope. Pull it back. All right. You know what I was saying about the death grip? Totally gone. It's starting already. During that, something brings it out in that section where I feel the need to hold on. Getting Wait, you can get irreversibly stuck in this? Oh shit. That would be a real problem, yeah.
No.
Uh-oh. I mean, I guess the worst that happens is indeed, like, you go all the way back to the beginning, which is obviously real shitty, but you can always start a new game. And I'd hate that concept a lot more if it weren't for, you know, the number of times we've basically had to do that. It just seems like part of the price of admission. So you know what, why wouldn't it be possible to also get irreversibly stuck? That almost seems like a feature, not a bug. Part of me now hopes that Bennett deliberately put in moments that made that possible. It's almost impossible to do it unintentionally. I gotcha. That seems likely, but there are... Oh shit. Ah, damn it. There are ways, huh? I'm certainly not going to try and make them happen. It's accidental? Okay. Yeah. Reasonable. I just I stand by my statement, though, that if it were intentional, I'd kind of get it. For any game to have just a soft lock like that, forcing you to just restart the entire game, this one, it just kind of seems fitting. So I don't hate it. Or maybe I've just become that much of an apologist for my torture. This is the first sign of the Stockholm Syndrome. The fact that I'm like, you know what? The game, like, if I start saying things like, you know, if the game just deletes itself and tells Steam that I never bought it and I just have to repurchase it, I'm okay with that. Like, that's when we'll really know that I've become too much of an apologist. Just a bit before launch. Okay. Crap. Crap. Alright, one sec. We're just gonna launch to that.
No.
Come on, I know I can do better than this. I can also do a lot worse, but I know I can do better. Maybe it's... I have my mouse kind of like a little bit farther away. I feel like I slowly push it more and more away from me. Let me see if I can get it a little bit more towards my body. Feel ideally a little bit more control that way. Just not as arm extended. Have it a little bit more wrist motion than arm. I'm not confident this is helping out yet. Maybe it's about the arm motions.
No.
As I slowly lose more and more progress. You get some... Oh, so the game does, like... It does at least acknowledge that you have done the thing. That's interesting. So it's like... It's not full on... At that point, it's not even fully a bug. It is kind of intentional. Like, if it's recognized and the game reacts to it, like... That's by design at that point. So I'll maintain that, yeah, it is an intentional feature of the game. It just wasn't always an intentional one, but it became that way. Just... quick reminder of the game to go to surround the most points on the board. Okay, yeah, that based on the quick reading of that, like I did kind of a skim on what you said, but that it sounds like I was remembering it correctly as far as the way it works. Because I remembered it was like really simple rules. Like there wasn't a lot to it, but the strategy of it was much more complicated than the rules. There's just so many different ways to play. Okay. Already, my mouse has gotten pushed away from me again. Perhaps I should just accept it as inevitable that it's what my hand wants to do, and I should just let what happens happen. Just can't help but feel that that's part of the reason that I lose the grip on it, is it just gets so far away from me. So I mentioned it at one point, the last stream or the stream before it, that I did, I think it was the stream before. I tried a little bit of this with controller. Volume's at 100%, that'll do it. I definitely also have the game mixed relatively low, which might be part of that. If you'd like, I can adjust that mix. Oh, stop, man. I did the classic thing. Oh yes, I was... shit. Playing it with a controller at one point where using the thumbstick as a mouse, and I kind of got used to it over time, but it still just was basically impossible. There's some things where you just had to be able to react more quickly and precisely than I felt like I could make my thumb do. Extremely simple starting rules that have very... yeah, exactly. That's always been my understanding of Go. There's a mobile version of this? I was not aware of that. Okay. Back to there. Was the fun run fun? Yeah, overall it was. I also... Alright, I'll let this play out and I'll fully respond. Welcome, Wikinator. There we go. Yeah, it was really fun. We were successful, and it went, honestly, a lot more smoothly than the first time we did it. They'd made a lot of alterations to the course. Well, not a lot of them, but enough important ones. You may be regretting your choice to fall. Hey, that was specifically... That's Wikinator's theme. So if it's about the content of that, just know that... Well, know a couple of things. One, I do like My Little Pony, but I wouldn't consider myself a brony, but I do like it. But also, that was just a personal choice. If I'm death gripping the... I'm not usually death gripping the mouse. That's not usually the problem. It's more... The death grip is always on my offhand, just holding on to the desk. But yeah, so Mother did enough changes to the hilliness of it. There used to be... The last time we went, there was a long section that was just miles and miles of very steep hills up and down, and it was just... fucking brutal on the legs. And there was still some component of that, but not nearly as much. It was spread out better, and it led to feeling like it wasn't just nearly as brutal to get through. So the short version is, yeah, it went really well. I know Draco has got our finishing picture. I had a picture of us beforehand, before we were covered in mud and everything, but that died with my phone. I mentioned earlier that I managed to, I successfully finished the race, but I did, in the process, kill both my, my phone and my car keys, because it's a remote, or a keyless entry kind of push-to-start thing. And, I've kind of taken it apart at this point, but, like, all the buttons had worn off, so, like, the circuit board was just exposed and it got wet, and, you know, circuit boards don't like that. So it was a somewhat unfortunate day in some regards, but generally went well. But yeah, so I don't have our starting picture as a result, because it was taken on my phone and then my phone died. Actually, wait, no, because now I've started up my new phone. I guess that's on my SD card. I probably do have that. Could now be working again. No, so you taking back the help of telling me about the snake? Gonna have to find a way to erase that from my memory. You've already helped in ways that you can't take back. There we go. Back to here. I feel like there's one other thing I was gonna mention about Mutter. Oh yeah, so I know I talked about how there's at least the possibility that I would stream it, and the reasons why I was wavering on that. Turns out those reasons were definitely legit. I got out there and had just like absolutely no phone signal, so I would not have been able to stream it. I am glad I did not buy a GoPro for that purpose. Alright, let's try this again. Yep, these are the ones. So let's get a little bit more out to the side, so I can hopefully just get not at that angle. I do. I mean, like, is it the best show that's ever been made? No, not in my mind anyway, but it's generally fun and has some moments and like there are aspects to it that were, even if I don't think they were made with me in mind completely, are just elements of it I can enjoy. I think that there are communities that overhype the value of the show beyond what it deserves, but it is enjoyable, especially for a primarily kids show. Oh my god, I've never gotten onto this rock before. We have now reached new heights. We're gonna lose this immediately, but we've done my thesis statement of the stream, which was technically get to new material. We've done it. Can I... Yeah, I didn't think I could get the height to just, like, slowly get onto there. So I'm gonna want to make sure that whatever I do is angled generally towards the right. I think I might need to be more down on the lip. God, I'm so terrified. Like, all it takes is just one moment to just ruin the fact that I've actually made progress. I think if I piston down at more or less that... No, see, I feel like if I windmill, it's going to slip off and then I'm going to accidentally, like, push off the rock from the side. I think if I push down at this angle and then try and catch myself, I may be able to do it. Nope. That's what I was afraid of. But hey, it's only down to here, so that's not too bad. Fast up and don't push east. Okay. Well, we'll get another chance at that soon, hopefully. But that is... We had that Samwise Gamgee moment. If I go on one more rock, it'll be the farthest from the Shire I've ever been. Now I just got to somehow get onto that rock again, because... I was able to do it with just not overthinking it, but I don't know if I'll be able to make that happen again. Certainly struggled enough last stream. Yeah. At a certain point I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to accept that it's about to happen and not make it worse by just giving myself a vector to the side that I can't control. I can at least accept my fate and accept that it'll only be so much of a loss. Oh yeah, I mean, generally is, but that section is just so smooth. It just slides off of a lot. But yeah. So Tough Mudder went well, though it is the reason why today my body is just more or less broken. I'm happy to be doing basically just wrist and arm movements now, though those are definitely sore too. And I expect that if I sit in the chair as long as last stream, that is not gonna work for my back at all. Like, definitely not going for like 6-7 hours, whatever it was last time. For a couple of reasons, but that's one of them. Just like feeling sore enough as it is without that. Okay, and that's there. And let's... Whoop.
Oh.
Shit, okay. There we go. Just need to just take that moment to align that control and really get my hand ready to move at the right angle. Just for so long you can get away with like not having quite the precision you need, but I want to take my hand off the keyboard and mouse for a bit. All right, it's off. I should indeed do that. Oh wait, the keyboard and mouse. Yeah, sure. Stretch it out. Yeah, no, it's good practice every once in a while. They're generally feeling okay. But I will keep that in mind. I need one of those, like, like certain streamers have those, like, hydrate reminders and stuff. Probably need one of those for just taking that moment to stretch the fingers and loosen them back up in this game. God, I really do want to finish. It's not going to be tonight. Not unless things really change real quick. But I got a couple of other games that I'm looking forward to doing in this sort of time slot when we finish. Been watching some more like video game video essay YouTubers. It does. It definitely does. The good small movements. And as a result, I've learned of one game I'd at least heard of, but just didn't know as much about that I'm looking forward to doing, which is Outer Wilds. I picked up that and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, no, it's the mouse is it's definitely not sweaty mouse just yet or anything like that. Like right now I feel at least close to my usual level of precision. Any amount of my imprecise movements is just skill more than fatigue right now. Mostly. So yeah, Outer Wilds is one of them. Which sounds like it'll be kind of the sort of thing I've been looking for a while. That's just sort of like, you can only really play it once kind of discovery game which we'll all get to discover together. And then the other one that I got that I thought could be really interesting, and I know very little about, is like some kind of game. It's called Before Your Eyes, I think is the name. And it's a relatively short experience. Some kind of like slice of life sort of game of just this person's experience. The main conceit behind it, the one thing that I do know, is that as you play this game, it uses your webcam. And anytime you blink, your life flashes forward to a new moment. And sometimes that may be years, sometimes it may be moments, and just as you blink, your life is going by, and eventually you're going to get to the end of it. And like it seems just the right level of arty and weird and something I've never seen before and potentially really moving, and looking forward to exploring that as well. But I got to get through all of this stuff. Got to get through this game before we can get to that point. Yes, it is supposed to be on a TV. In fact, I added a subtle little effect. Hopefully subtle. It may be a little too much. The scan lines and curvature thing I finally added in. Oh man, I definitely could be into Power Wash Simulator. Blink can attest to how... So anybody who's ever played House Flipper might know that, or probably does know, there's sections where you have to like clean windows and stuff, and just like clean the dust off of them, and she can attest to how we got to that part, and that was just like all I wanted to do, was just the satisfaction of cleaning that, like, oh my god, it was just... So, yes, I would be totally into Power Wash Simulator, because that's all I wanted to do in House Flipper anyway. There we go. I've got onto this rock. Again. Wait, oh. Which game are you talking about, Genius? Which one's the cool one? So obviously we've now mentioned like a bunch of them. Okay, hold on. Oh, it just occurred to me. I must be on a higher rock. Just, okay. I was like, if I don't flail, I think I'll slide down a little bit, but it'll be okay. Okay. You know what? I think we have gotten to this point before. I think if we check the VODs, it's probably this rock that I've never been on top of. I don't know that we have gotten to new material yet. Yeah, I think we got up to there before, and I've been having a hard time not sliding off of it. Okay, we can do this though. I'm less fatigued this time here than I was before. I think it's possible. Okay, we've got that nice surface. If I can just get all right, I think instead of pulling, I'm gonna try pushing. Oh, no, okay. All right. You've seen in all those games and like, oh, well, cool.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Oh man, that little jostle, and I scooted over to the side. I was like, I think I can actually reach. I feel like I need to not be afraid. I need to do that push. Just to be clear, right now I'm trying to actively. I've got some ideas. I'm trying to not just like look at advice and chat. Damn it. Trying to get some of this myself. Like sometimes I'll ask for some backseat help. Sometimes I just want to see what I can figure out. But so I saw you were saying something. I didn't really look at it, but I think I just need to not be afraid to like. Indeed, get a little bit more of a dynamic push off and then swing around in a wide arc. And I think that might, if I can get back to where I was, which I'm feeling confident that I can, because that was going kind of smoothly. I think I can do it. And we can truly get to like some new territory, not just like a new rock. Or at least it looks like that's the case. I'm not 100% certain what's coming up after that, but... Okay. But yeah, so those are some of the new games that I've gotten. I'm looking forward to doing at some point. All that being said, I still am completely enjoying this. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is very important to me to conquer this at least the once. Realized as I was doing it, I had done the wrong motion and was just like, it's time to just accept what happened. Okay, it's there. Give it my all and full. I know, it's just... It's so scary to dive in that deep, but I think you're right, at least for parts of it. There's clearly parts that I've demonstrated I can do cautiously, and those parts I'm still going to try and do more cautiously. But there does get to a point where, yeah, you just gotta kind of fully dive in, or it's not going to work. You gotta commit. These are the life lessons of this game. They are many and important ones. There we go. It's like, how can I want to make sure not to smack the ceiling. Let's do a little bit of a push. Exactly, Pizza Man. It all depends on what the definition of it is. We must find the it. Look, did I mention that I have an ocular disorder that makes everything upside down? My retina doesn't flip the image, so everything is... Are we climbing up? I thought we were going down this whole time. Clearly, I've used the wrong metaphor.
What? Oh no.
I thought this was all about exploring the Marianas Trench.
What? What?
And it was just, you know, taking some artistic license with what that would look like. Which, in fairness, it is doing with what the mountain is, so that part doesn't seem off. Ooh, not a great perch. Let's see. There we go. That'll be a little bit better. Got so 13 minutes, huh? Industries here is saying that was their best time on this. Jeez. That is just incredible. Gonna go terraform. Oh, nice. I wish you good luck with good fortune with this, and yeah, we'll be around. Feel like being up. I guess with that in mind, what is time local to your location? Like for me, it's just like I'm doing this out of Los Angeles, so it's just 7 o'clock for me. But all night, huh? I've certainly a decision I've made before. I've had that thought as well, just like, you know what? Who needs sleep? We're only going to be alive so long. I want to spend those hours awake. And then feeling miserable. But oh, okay. You're just central time. I gotcha. So, the rest of the night is, still got a ways to go on that. I know well of your time zone. It's the time zone where I grew up, in Houston. Okay, so let's do the patient stuff. The stuff that I can get away with, nice and slow. I could have sworn that I couldn't do that on that rock, but I guess I can. Houston, indeed. Well, you seem to clearly have some thoughts on Houston. Not that I would say I'm especially like, it's my hometown, I'm really attached to it, but what makes it do that over Houston? Where is it, because of where you live or other reasons? Yep. Okay. Need to not pop off that point too hard. No. I let my fingers slip on the mouse, and they did that little downward motion and just pushed me off. All right, back we go again through the routine. Didn't quite get up to what we had last time, but it's all just familiarity. Oh, okay. See, I've been living in big cities all my life, like this, you know, Los Angeles, as I just said, Houston before that. Like, it's kind of all I know in a sense. Yeah, I figured that if you thought that about Houston, you'd no doubt about LA as well. I mean, totally valid. It is indeed quite the busy place. But yeah, it's the only world I know. It's the big city life. Ain't never had it no other way. And you know, there are definitely some... All the feelings you have about big city life are absolutely true. You know, it's... Obviously, for various reasons, it has been my preference. It's been my choice to live this way, but it is not without its costs. I say as you can potentially, if you listen real carefully, it probably isn't coming through on the mic, but at some point you might hear all the various ice cream trucks and stuff. Like, certainly not ideal in every way. At least the neighbors are being relatively good right now. That is not always the case. But honestly, at this point, even, you know, qualities of big cities and small cities aside, at this point I feel not stuck isn't the right word, but like rooted, I guess, in LA more just because, like, you know, it's my roots. Like, I've got all my friends and stuff here. It's more that than anything. Like, I've certainly thought about the the niceness of starting over in a smaller place and a less expensive place, but it doesn't have the people I know. Middle of dead grass and a long, almost... gotcha. I was gonna say, not exactly describing it in a way that is just like overflowing with love. So yeah, not surprised to say that you hate it. But hey, we all have a home here together on the internet. Right now, all of our collective homes is this TV screen with a mountain that's gonna just devour all of our souls. Home is where the internet is. I guess. Put that on a on like a tea mug.
Oh.
Wait, no, don't. I've got merchandise opportunities here. It's calling dibs. Home is where the internet is. It's a new mug. I'm sure that nobody's ever put those words together ever, and it can be totally my thing. Gotcha. Yeah. I can see why that would be a little problematic. A little bit. Just don't worry though. Don't you see? Racism is everywhere. There's no escaping it. So don't worry. Not to say that individual places can't have more problems with systemic racism and practical racism than others, but don't worry. Living somewhere else wouldn't get rid of the racism. It would just change the exact appearance of it. Hey, you just made the cut. Gotcha. Well, I mean, in fairness, like, my time in Louisiana has been... like, I was born in Baton Rouge, but, oh, God damn it. No, 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 no. Hey, almost before the tree, but not... We at least are on the correct side of the tree. Welcome back to the beginning, folks. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to finally do the... hopefully pop over that. You got me talking about Louisiana, and then that happened. I've spent more time in New Orleans, but it's always just been visiting relatives, so, like, I can't say I've had a lot of first-hand with, like, you know, the racism of Louisiana or anything. Yeah, fall do go down, or you know, as we've determined, clearly I've gone up. This whole thing has been exploring a ravine, so I've gone very, very up, finally. Also a proper god damn it about that. You know, I may not blow my top, but I need to at least give me my opportunity to fully embrace and feel the frustration of what just happened, which is god damn it. We're really making progress and like staying in that area, getting our shots at the mountaintop. And by top I mean, you know, section, very much not the top. And then that it just had to happen. Just had to decide that it was time for a return to the old ways. We'd forgotten our roots of the here parts. Don't blame God for my mistakes. Yeah, fair enough. I guess that is fitting. God has nothing to do with what just happened there. God has been absent from my actions. Not responsible for my fuck-ups. Only I can prevent forest fires, and only I can fuck up so royally. Go. Hey, the good news is it's going to allow us to put to the test. You know, we had your advice on getting through that section coming up that I hate, and it worked pretty well last time. We're going to see if it can work again this time. See if I can more quickly get through that, like, more industrial section that I loathe. Oop. There we are. before I do it, just taking that moment. Shake things out. So what worked last time was indeed getting a greater emphasis on the nice wide circles. That seemed to work pretty well, and let's see if we can use those to our great benefit again. Come on. Balance a little bit more. Alright. Obviously, not going to happen like first time, but like focus on that strategy. See what we can do. Just didn't get enough lift. Did it either a little too early or a little bit too late, but yeah, there we go. Wide circles. Obviously, I'm not quite there, but more or less. Use the fridge thing for momentum, don't go on top. Yeah. Point being, wide circles worked again to make that a way less involved and long process than it has been in the past. Where that's often taken just way too long. So thank you again for saving me from that hell. I hated it so much. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about pulling out a little bit too late. I got a surgery to make sure that ain't a problem. So, you know, if it happens, it happens. And also, a wizard does not pull out too late. He pulls out precisely when he means to. That probably didn't pick up on the mic, but right after I said that, there's just, from the other room, you can hear Blink go, "What is going on in there?" Wait, you're telling me that you don't think that this game is all about pulling out in time? It's clearly what's happened. Just teleport the nut somewhere. Yeah, it teleports it to just the rest of my scrotum, I guess. But medically speaking. This is why you all signed your waivers by clicking that you were okay with a mature stream, so that I could talk about my own biology like this. And what surgeries I have or have not undergone that involve sex organs. No, I'd really rather not have done.
No.
Having just gotten back through it, I'd like to, you know, not go back to the beginning again. It'll happen, don't worry. It'll just happen from, you know, orange hell. Yes, those of you who have never been here before, you, newcomers, so to speak, can see that, I don't exactly have much in the way of a filter as far as that whole, like, too much information or, you know, personal stuff. Not for myself, anyway. For other people, I completely respect that, but, if it comes to my own shit, if it's a thing, I don't mind talking about it. Yeah, exactly. Alright, up we go. Oh, and down we go. Yeah, it's gotta get that nice balance. It's a real yin-yang sort of thing. Every up has a component of down to it, and every down has a component of up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, welcome, newcomer, to the world of masturbation. What's up, Chai? There we go, man. We'll see if you're more on board with this theme. See, they're not all My Little Pony. We are recovering from quite a fall. You know, basically the subtitle of this game. But starting to get back there. Oh, it's the, yeah, it's the old Mortal Kombat theme. I guess I haven't played a recent enough Mortal Kombat in forever. I don't know how much they do or don't. Yes, like back to the beginning. We full on like Marty McFly'd this shit. Went back to 1955. No, actually that's not even true. We Back to the Future 3'd this and went back to 1885. That's how far back we went. We only thought we'd seen the beginning in the past. I never played Mortal Kombat, I gotcha. Can't say it's one I've done a lot of, but yeah, so, not that they're still available, but there were times where I used to give away custom cello themes like that, and so you'll find certain people in here will have little cello covers of different songs of their choice. That's one of them. Hey, what's up, Juan? Hey, it's good to see you around. Welcome back. Wait, didn't you... Have you changed something about your name? Or was it always Juan the Barber 508? I feel like something feels off. Was it always that? Maybe I'm just making it up. But yeah, welcome back. I took quite the hiatus, so yeah. I've only really been doing this again for the last several weeks, like about a month or so. But yeah, good to see you. How's it been? Which is better, Blast from the Past or Back to the Future? Oh my god, super Back to the Future easily. I'm actually trying to remember. I can't remember if I've seen Blast from the Past all the way through, or if I'm just thinking of the trailer for it. But that's right. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I thought it used to be slightly different. Like something seemed off, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I am surprised that this long later I actually caught that, but I was like, I didn't think it was 508. What inspired that change? I assume it wasn't because before you were 23 and now you're 508 years old and just went through quite the relativity effects and have had just such a life that you're going to have to tell us all about. Is it possible to get a theme song? Not anymore. They were kind of a limited offer thing that just it took so much effort. There may be a time someday where on a very limited basis I make them available again, but generally no. Not anymore. The people who have them are lucky enough to have them. They got them, but it's a very just limited edition item now. Yeah, so maybe someday. Though if you had one, do you know what what would your theme be? Yeah, that's the thing. Like I haven't. I've specifically avoided ever making it a specific price point, just because I don't want to get stuck with just like I don't want to do too many. They really do take a lot of time and effort, and I don't feel like I'm that great at recording music, and so like obviously the results are the results. Y'all have heard. I know the people who have them tend to like them, but it's still just because of my skills at it or lack thereof. It's a lot of effort and time to make them get to the point where I feel like I'm even okay with them. And that's still a level that I'm not always especially happy with. So like it can be uncomfortable. I'm still happy that I'm happy people have them and enjoy them, but at least for now, it's definitely not just like a regularly available thing for those reasons. Yeah, the reason it didn't come up was that was part of the reason why I thought that. I was like, I know you had a theme. It's because you changed the name, so the bot looks out for your name, and it was looking out for Juan the Barber 23. So what I can do, let me take care of that real quick. Let me change that to Juan the Barber 508, and now it should do it. I was like, I thought you did. Let me just find it in the list. Yeah, there we go. Change a couple of things. Almost. Unfortunately, I made a lot of references to 23 in the message that plays, so... okay, there we are. Alright, all fixed. You have your theme is now looking for the correct name. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was, but I thought you had one. So you were Pokemon. But I've been pretty well. The year off or so has definitely been nice to just kind of re-get my bearings and reprioritize things, get a chance to explore different parts of life for a bit. But ultimately, it's been nice to get back into this, get to talk with y'all, and play some... do the classic, just play games and hang out with people. Get to chat. Be social from a distance. They have, and as I've been telling people, it'll probably continue to be the case. There may be cello in the future, but not with a regularity. If you do want cello, though, more regular than around here, I sometimes do join in over on Blinkin' Firefly's channel, twitch.tv/BlinkinFirefly, no G. I'll sometimes join her and do some duets and stuff, so you're more likely to catch me on cello over there than on this channel at this point. So if you... I'll be the first to admit, it doesn't happen all that often, just for various reasons. We don't... She doesn't have a regular stream schedule, and even when she does, a lot of the time I'm busy at work. Like, it just doesn't always work out. But there are times that I join her, and it's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend that you go over there and join us for those experiences if you're looking for more cello. These days, I just want to chill and play the video games. Fatal Request... Okay. I can't say I'm familiar with it offhand, but there's all sorts of themes that I made for people that I wasn't initially, and I had to take a listen to it and just kind of figure it out. So that would certainly be possible. But yeah, I'm neither familiar with Fatal Request or the specific song. Oh, another Kaizo Mario stream? Definitely not immediately after this. I need something completely different from I can't just do all rage and frustration games, but as for a chance, yeah, that may well happen. I've got a bit of a list of things that's growing of things I would want to get to first, but... Okay. But I don't think it's impossible that we'd do more Kaizo at some point. That's definitely taking it back. Well, let's rebalance over here for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I've been starting to get a little bit more active on Discord than I was before, though it's still not exactly the most hoppin' community. And I guess I don't even have a link to it down below anymore. I completely just I burned down my entire channel and was just like, just rip it all down. And I need to put in the time and energy to kind of reform some things and get the Discord down there and everything. So yes, the Discord is still at least existent. I may well respond on there, and it's probably the best option. But I'll be the first to admit, I'm not exactly the most active on our server anymore. Yes, it was. Oh my god, really? Anna, then you met me before this stream existed. That PAX South that you remember me from is the very reason I have a channel today, because I had so much fun doing that cello for y'all. I haven't been back to a PAX South since, but yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I happened to meet the first, I didn't even know what Twitch was back then, and I met a streamer at a booth. I was interested in it, and it led to this whole thing that's now going on this many years later. That's amazing. Well, see, that was back in 2015. You found this channel, and somehow I guess it would be the shirt, but somehow recognized me that many years later, even without the context of a cello. That's pretty impressive. Well, welcome to the channel. I used to do a lot more cello requests on here, as we were just talking about. It's not so much a thing anymore. But that's super cool. Yeah. That's about as OG as it comes. We've got some people who've been around here for a while. In answer to your question, Shy Socks, yes, that was indeed Kaizo Mario was the very first game we played on this channel. Because back then, it was a punishment for the fact that I wasn't feeling up for playing cello. I was just going to play a video game, which seemed like such a weird thing at the time that I would do that on this channel. And so I had to punish myself for just, like, I'm so sorry, it's not music tonight. But yeah, Anna's claim is even more OG than yours. Like, that's pretty early on, the Kaizo Mario thing, but she has a memory from... Or I assume she, because of the Anna, I may be wrong on that, but they have a memory that predates Twitch itself. Or not Twitch itself, but my presence on it. That is super surprising. I never would have expected, like, that anyone from back then would still recognize me. Not that I look that completely different, it's just been so long. And it was just the one, like, weekend. Do you just go to South, or do you go to any of the... Hold on, I need to focus. Any of the other PAXs? Because I haven't been to South since then. I've got a more regular presence at PAX West. Where now, at this point, I'm an enforcer there. Yeah. It's not many people who can have you beat Shy, but we found one. Oh well, I'm glad at how I'm happy that I was able to provide something that, you know, no matter what I'm doing, I always enjoy doing things that can one way or another improve people's day, broader experience, whatever. Whatever I can do, I'm happy when it works out that way. And so, like, I'm always at least somewhat sorry that for all the people that kind of got to know this channel for the music, that I'm just like, there's not really music going on here anymore. Like, I wish I could keep providing the thing that I know a lot of people came here to hear, but no matter what happens, I'm glad that at least for a time I was able to give you that thing that you really liked. What's up, Fodor? Welcome back. How far along have I got? Welcome, Blinking Firefly. Let's let your theme play out. Got all kinds of themes tonight. Yeah, so in answer to your question, how far have we gotten? Basically, we've gotten ever so baby steps slightly farther than we had ever gotten before. Just barely. Yeah, agreed, Juan. I'm into all of that. I've enjoyed the more out there streams as well. But yes, ever so slightly baby step farther than we gotten before. It's been a process. A lot of moving backwards with a decent amount of moving forwards, or at least recovering. Like, we've been pretty solid, but it's been tough going. We're getting up to parts that are just, they're really tricky. So I'm recovering, I'm losing ground frequently and then recovering that lost ground without too much delay, but it's happening a lot. It's just, we're at a section that it's very easy to just kind of lose some ground. And the real trick is trying to keep it from being a lot of ground and just some. Let's get up on top of this camera. But yeah, no, thank you to everybody for all the kind words about, like, just this, about this place and what it's meant to you, and, like, the community and all of that. Like, I completely agree. It's obviously meant a lot to me. It's why I've been doing it for all these years. I really enjoy hanging out with y'all. It's what's brought me back after even just a really long hiatus. Like, I like getting to hang out with all of y'all, and yeah, you get to be my friends from afar, and just no matter what I'm doing in life, video games don't have to be, like, obviously now I live with Blinking Firefly, so in all kinds of ways video games don't have to be a lone activity, but even beyond that, you know, I get to hang out with people from all over the world and just enjoy that, and, you know, have that community of just really cool people. And that doesn't get to happen without all of y'all's efforts of just hanging out here and chatting, and, you know, all I can do here is stream and, like, say weird shit out loud as much as I can, but it's not really a community without all of y'all. So as far as the like it being a cool place to be in like the community aspect, like that's all of you guys. Best I can do. Y'all give me the stuff to bounce off of. Without any of that, this place is way less entertaining, I assure you. And up onto here. But I promise I will continue to do my part to try and find ways to keep providing novel experiences here, whether new games that we haven't played before, like, well, this one we've obviously played now, not all the way through, but we've been playing it for the last few weeks, but I've got other ones in mind, and I am pretty sure that the future may hold some more of the stranger things, like as Juan mentioned, the drunk pizza cooking stream and stuff like that. I can tell you that since that stream, there have been many, many more pizzas. I can actually, you know, like, kind of make a pizza now that's passable, as opposed to that glob of drunken nothingness. A glob of drunken nothingness. That seems like you could use that description for a person, but a really unfortunate person. Really busy. Oh, you finally opened up your own barber shop. That's really cool. Oh, the Swedish fit, yeah. Okay, up onto here. Come on, let's get back up to the orange hell. Hey, what's up, Brayley? We're gonna hear yet another theme. There it is. Welcome, Raiders. It is good to see ya. Yeah, I've been offline a lot. I can't tell you, it brings me such joy every time. You know, since there was indeed this basically year-long hiatus of not streaming, every given stream there get to be, you know, old familiar names that keep coming up, that it just brings me such joy to always see, like, yep, that's still an aspect of this I can rely on. Like, it's all, even this long after the fact, to some degree, it's all still the same. And I thank you so much for sending the peoples over here. If you're not familiar, this is not an old game, but not exactly a new one, called Getting Over It. It is the idea is we are this, you know, presumably naked, though I guess all we know is shirtless, man in a pot. I control this tool. I know we came up with a specific name for it last time, and I can't remember what it was. I control this with my mouse, and otherwise it's all very physics-based and very difficult. There's going to be a lot of lost progress. It is a complete frustration game, so I hope you're ready for that sort of thing. And if not, thank you for at least saying hi. Yeah, full-on rage game. Alright, here we go. We have been reaching new sections that are, at this point, very easy to lose ground on. Not this one. This one is actually... This part's pretty tame, but we're about to be in what is apparently known as Orange Hell. It's true, yeah. Blank gave it a shot at it and can now fully appreciate what goes... I mentioned this earlier in the stream. So between last time and this time, when I was at work one night, I loaded up this other person who is playing this, who is even more of a noob than I was. He's in roughly the same area, but just I think he's got even less time in the game. And oh my god, I can't tell you how much it helped to just get to watch somebody else going through the same frustrations. I needed it more than I realized, to be like, I'm not alone. Like, intellectually, I knew that all along. Obviously, everybody goes through the same stuff. It's a process. I'm not the first person to play it, and everybody who does goes through these same things, all the lost ground and everything. But just seeing it happen, it just... Oh my god, did it help. Yeah, it's a lesson in learning patience. So here's where it starts getting very easy to lose ground. So if I go off to the left, which will happen very easily with smacking these rocks, so expect it to happen soon. This is where we can definitely lose some ground. You try and find small. Next time there's like 16 people. Yeah, well, you know, we've don't worry. If history is any indicator, we'll go back down in numbers soon enough. It's fine. But I try and cultivate no matter what numbers we have in here. Try and keep up with chat and still maintain a small stream type of situation. If it ever gets to the point where I feel like I can't actually keep up with chat and respond to people, I feel like this isn't what the stream is meant for anymore. Alright, here we go. So, we have gotten onto this next rock before. But as you can see, it's a very slippery looking rock, and it is very slippery. But if I can just get onto it, there's like a 90-degree-ish outcropping, something that I feel like we're going to actually make some real progress on. This is where I have to, like, kind of commit a little bit harder and just blast up and hold on and hopefully not slide off. We'll see how it goes. My bet is I'm about to really slide off and lose a lot of progress. So be ready for that. Yep, because I pushed off that, and there we go. Back to the slide. So that's how that section goes. So that moment, prepare to see that basically over and over again. We've sometimes done better than that, but it's very easy for that exact thing to happen. Give me a moment to properly just compress that feeling down to the size that I can breathe in and just let it escape into the air. Once you accept that you'll never find victory or happiness, not in a lasting way anyway, once you just accept that, the pain of defeat and losing ground no longer hurts so badly. And I definitely meant all of that only specific to this game. That is not a philosophy on life of saying I'll never find lasting happiness. That's not what I meant. Only in the context of this game. Stopped earning money. Hold on. As far as I know, the bot should still be doing that. I don't think I turned that off. Yeah. That should still be happening. I mean, that currency doesn't... We all know how valuable it is and how much you can use that for, which is, you know, nothing, but it should still be giving it to you. The Disney bucks are still plenty available. Uh-oh,
No.
uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, hold on. My Discord, do I still have a link to my Discord on there? I thought I got rid of that too. Oh, does it stop tracking your hours? Yeah, I don't know.
A viewer has purchased a forbidden word.
Well, I don't have any specific, obviously we don't have a specific, like, literal forbidden word system anymore, but I will do what I can to stop saying that particular word. I'll just talk about currencies instead. Yeah, it thinks you have something, yeah, 582 monies. I already screwed that up. 582 currencies and 102 hours. It's definitely off. It may have just, like, gotten reset somehow. Okay, yeah, something reset it, and I don't know what's going on. All I can promise was I didn't intentionally do it. I guess we've had a revolution and everybody's starting at 0 again? Oh, you changed... Yeah, if you changed your name... Hold on. You've got me all curious now. Because I can search these. Yeah. Yeah, I've got 3 different entries for Chai Socks. I've got, you know, this Chai Socks. I've got Chai Socks 3014 and Chai Socks 9305, each with their own individual amount of currencies and hours. So it looks like your grand total is, let's see. Somebody can whip out a calculator. I don't feel like doing it. Yes, I do. So 348 plus 192, which is, let's see, 350, 450, 540. 642 hours looks like your total. Yes, that song about... Not even song. That word regarding currency, that more colloquial one, is one I've been forbidden from saying. The one Blinkin' Firefly just said. Oh my god. Keep in mind that commands list I have absolutely no guarantees about what on there does or does not still work. I have not kept that up to date or taken a look at it since I've made some pretty big changes around here, so it may be accurate, it may not. I honestly have no idea. I'm willing to bet no, because it probably, like, I know disruptions aren't a thing, and those are probably on there. Like, it can't, there's no surfs, like, basically none of that is still active. Well, give me a moment here. The quote book still works. Let's see. Yeah, that's not active anymore. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that were part of my old template that I haven't made part of this one. Now, ever since making it the, like, TV screen thing. Pretty much all the stuff that wound up taking up visual space doesn't happen on this one, for the most part. It's not to say that it never will. I may bring some of it back, but I gotta put more thought into it. And these days, let's just say I've got some other things that are taking quite the priority over that. No. I've got an ever-expanding list of just crap that I gotta get done. Come on. We can do better than this. Let's get back up to those failure rocks. So I can remind myself what life tastes like. Which is the bitter defeat. Okay. A command? No, there's not any direct way for y'all to change the chat. You're probably thinking of the surf command from the old template. There was that. I've certainly thought about similar things for this. The only way that a user can, like, make the channel change right now, like, there'll be sort of a channel change. Like, anytime somebody subscribes, it does the, like, there'll be, like, the sub video channel change sort of thing that happens. So there's that. And yeah, I can certainly make a change. Like, it's like, oh, I don't even need my hands. Like, what happened? We've changed the channel. And I'm hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. That was the one I meant to. So yeah, you're probably thinking of the subscriber one. Someday, there might be some added stuff like that, but again, long list of crap that I gotta get to that's not even related to this stream. And then I can start focusing on the fun stuff like that. And there's also stream-related stuff I want to do first, like I am God, that was fast. That was so immediate, the way that we lost everything we'd gained. Feels good. Feels real good. My main, like, stream goals, I'm trying to start putting these as videos on YouTube, like, just save the process, like, of these gameplay videos. I don't expect there's going to be a large audience for it, but at least, you know, they won't disappear after 2 weeks. So I need to do a little bit of YouTube revamping, a little bit of channel information revamping, just all kinds of stuff. Ugh. No. Nope, not down there. I don't have a good enough purchase. So I tried one. The problem is that the camera itself, like my second webcam, it doesn't stay connected very well. It's just the connection is crappy, and so, like, I can't reliably do it. I had it set up, and then it became infuriating because you kept hearing the constant sound of the USB connecting and disconnecting just all throughout the stream. Yeah. So in order to do that, I'd have to buy a new webcam, which I'm not planning on doing right now. Again, maybe someday, but are my really old video? Oh, not yet. So that's the other thing, is that would take me a lot of time, but I do have basically almost all the streams that ever happened I still have saved to my hard drive. So they exist. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, it gave me... I clicked it even though I saw the preview. Like, as I hovered over it, I saw what video it was, but But yeah, I do have the many cello streams still saved. Getting those on YouTube would be quite the endeavor. I certainly can at some point, but that'll definitely take me a while to get to, just because that's a lot to upload. But you're right, I probably should do that, just in case the hard drive ever fails, or like it would be. As long as I'm saving them, I might as well at least get some use out of it. Good lord, would that be a lot? So, speaking of things that don't have a lot of audience for it, like where would you even start? Like which one in particular? It would be so hard to find any particular moments. There's a lot of them. It doesn't go all the way back to the beginning. It took me a little while before I started saving recordings of them as I was streaming them, but they go back most of the way. But just all that to say, there will be streams that you remember that are not on there.
Oh no.
I don't even know if they go as far back as like the time that I streamed Superman 64, I know they don't have the Kaizo one. I think any of the stuff in that old house from back where I used to stream on my bed, I don't think any of that is saved. So those are just lost to time. But I think a lot of, if not everything, from after I got this computer, like in that new apartment, the apartment where the original Chairgate happened, I think all of that stuff is saved.
Oh.
Yeah. So not everything, but compared to... Oh, crap. Hold on. Give me a moment. I'll finish that thought now, after failure. You enjoyed Superman 64 upon... God, talk about that is indeed a very unpopular opinion. I tried to, because it was... basically cognitive dissonance made me try it, because I knew I just spent all this money on it. I bought it new in box like right after it released. I was excited about Superman 64. I was hyped for its release. I didn't get it like day of or anything, but like not long afterwards. Certainly wasn't able to see any reviews or anything first. I was not as into the on the pulse of the gaming scene back then. Not that I'm really on the pulse now, but was less into, researching things and seeing all that. Anyway, so I tried to like it so badly because I didn't want to believe that I just wasted that much money, but it was a struggle. Can I assume it is, you don't like it now, right? It was a similar kind of thing going on? I assume? Let's see. Oh, okay. So that's good point, Juan. The only streams that are going to be saved are going to be ones that came from my computer. Anything that I did straight from my phone, like the drunk cooking stream that you're thinking of, or the time I assembled a bed while really drunk at, all of that stuff that came straight from the phone, that won't be saved. So it's not everything. No, this is all still the same place. Blink moved to Los Angeles to live here with me, so I'm still here. All the same place you remember. Just it's a smaller window, so you can't see it as well. But yeah, this is all the same. All the same. But yeah, I hadn't thought about that. There are mobile streams that existed that are not on that hard drive. But that's okay. Most of those were disconnecting so often, it would be so maddening to actually go back and rewatch. You'd have to load up so many different videos as I kept restarting streams and all that. House tour, I could potentially do that later. I used to be able to do that by just switching things over to my phone, but as I mentioned earlier, I just literally got my phone earlier today, within the last couple of hours. I don't have everything set up again yet, so I would not be able to take things over to my phone without taking quite a break to do that. So probably not tonight. Because because I'm just not set up for it anymore. If I didn't kill my phone this weekend, then I could have done that, but there's not too much to see though. It's a place. There's like, you know, bedrooms and bathrooms and like there's like hallways and a kitchen. It's, you know, I live a pretty sweet life. Well, yeah, I guess I don't mean to offend you in your barber sensibilities, but this is, as you can kind of see, it's become a little bit of a project beard. I've just been letting it grow for quite a while now. At this point, I'm at the stage, it's a house. At this point, I'm at the stage where I'm trying to just see how far I can take it. I want to eventually get full on just like wizard beard. However, it would be cool to have some help getting it nicely like shaped and everything, if not trimmed, but the shaping of it I'm sure you could help out with. And if that does ever happen, if I do wind up out there, I will indeed take you up on that. Though I forget where there is. I want to say Phoenix? Do I remember that correctly? I feel like it's definitely the Southwest, and like Phoenix sounds right, but obviously it's been a while. I may have that wrong. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for, is just tidy it up, but keeping it good and long. Come on. Back we go. But yeah, it started as kind of like a just, you know, like they all start. It started with laziness, and then eventually got to the point where like it was starting to get really long and scraggly, but then Blink was like, I was like apologetic about it, and then Blink was like, no, I actually kind of like it. I'm all about just keep growing it. And so I was like, all right, well, if it doesn't bother you, and I have that endorsement to just like see where it goes, like, yeah. You're the one who has to kiss it, so, or doesn't have to, but chooses to kiss it. So if you're on board with it, then I'm on board. I did remember, Kurt. All right, I was not relying on my ability to remember anything about anybody at this point, but I remember that your name changed. Granted, I had the help of remembering vaguely that you had a theme that wasn't playing, so that one I had help on. But Phoenix, I had to do all on my own. Remember that. All right, back up to Orange Hill. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how we established that. Went to a wedding out there. She got a couple of weddings coming up this year. Not out there. One of them's going to be in St. Louis, which is the one coming up sooner. And one of them has been such an unfortunate situation. So they've got a wedding coming up in Baltimore in October, and it's their third shot at making this work. The first time they tried to have the wedding was October of 2019, or of 2020. I'm sure you can guess what happened that made that delay. They tried again in October of 2021, and then the Delta variant was surging, and like, we're trying a third time for October of this year, and it's just been trying for so long to just have this wedding. Damn. Oh, keep accidentally just like swinging it down just a little bit too much as when I'm trying to just catch myself. Yeah. So hopefully this year, the third time will be a charm. We'll actually go to that wedding. But you know, every time I think I'm going to it and like buy tickets and hotels and everything, it doesn't go through. So I haven't bought a ticket for it yet, or a hotel. Still waiting on it, but not specifically because of that, more just because I'm not ready to do that. I'm more focused on the one coming up in May. But yeah, they've been trying for years now to actually go through with that wedding. To no avail so far.
Whoop.
I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't just turned to an attitude of just like, fuck it. No marriage. Clearly we're not supposed to get married. We're just going to stay in a relationship, but we're not getting married. Somehow they've decided that it's not futile. The world is not telling them no. Which, if either of them winds up watching this somehow, I am not saying that you should do that, or that the world is telling you no. I'm just very, that thing. Oh yeah, so there's that channel change too. I guess that one isn't a channel change technically. There's no like staticky transition or anything. It's just the it just pops up. Okay, so I have a question for y'all. Speaking of template stuff, so I did make a change this week. I finally implemented something that I'd wanted for a while. You may well be able to tell what it is, but that's not the question, is whether or not you notice it. It's related, though. So as you can see, I finally gave more of like a CRT effect to what's on screen. You've got like the scan lines and the little curvature and stuff. I was trying to make sure that it wasn't so much that it made it just like worse to look at and just like kind of annoying and like too flickery and all of that. I tried to make it pretty subtle just so that it was mostly still watching the gameplay, but I did like the idea of, you know, it's supposed to be taking place on a TV, so make it look like it's actually on an old CRT TV. How do you think it's subtle enough? I guess if you've entirely not noticed it, do you think it's too subtle? I doubt it's that. I don't want it more than that, but just making sure it's not too much, right? Like it's not interfering with seeing things. I was trying to get the proper balance on that, and like I think I hit it, but wasn't quite sure. Oh, nope. Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Okay. No. Guess who's back? You hadn't noticed? Okay. Well, then that's a good sign, because it's not... It's not important to me that people necessarily notice it. It's more important that it's indeed subtle. So if you didn't notice it, then that's a good thing. What did you join? There's no going back now. All you can do at this point is you can leave and never come back, but there's no undoing the fact that you were here in the first place. Everybody eventually comes to terms with that fact in their own time, but you did come here, and I'm so sorry. You made a choice. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the Discord server. Oh, are you just talking about like going through the history? Yeah, it's a place. It's been through some times. As I mentioned, it's not exactly the most active place anymore, but it is still, you know, definitely part of the community. But, you know, that's par for the course. Like, I can't imagine a Twitch Discord situation that I could not say that about. One that's at least based around, like, oh, this is the community for this particular streamer. I can imagine non-weird Discords, but, like, all of them got to get to that point. If they don't start that way, they get that way. Which I guess is more or less what happened with mine. Like, I don't know if it started that weird, but just, like the cascading waters of the Colorado River going through the Grand Canyon, over time, they cut their way and molded and shaped what that Discord was. Just the way it got used slowly made changes happen. Okay, come on. Nope. Over there. Stop it. Bring that mouse back and stop just flailing. Make purposeful actions. God damn it. You're embarrassing yourself. You're supposed to be showing the way this game is done. That's clearly what everybody's here to see. A demonstration of skill. I can't even get through that sentence. Come on. Little 1-2. Once in one direction, once in the other. Yeah, exactly. Obviously what you've been all about from the beginning. Just here to learn new tricks and techniques. You weren't thrown by the fact that I was asking you for them. You knew all along this was the stream of an utter master who was gonna show you how it's done. I guess that's still true as long as it isn't, you know, success at this game. I'm showing you how something is done. Yes, I have actually. That's a good question. I have put more thought into that pinball game. That's one of the other things on my list to get started on. Is I want to start cataloging that experience in a little bit of a game dev blog or like series of game development videos, because I have actually started putting in the effort, some first tests on pinball. Here, let's take a quick moment since you asked about it. Let me see if I can load that up. This is very, very rudimentary right now. There's not a lot to show for it, but I have some first kind of physics tests. Very, very incomplete. It's definitely not a game or anything, but I started trying to work with some of the physics of Game Maker and see, is it conceivable I could do a pinball thing? And the answer is yes. So let me load this up. And I'll show you what I got, which again is not a lot. But it's been just enough to demonstrate that I will be able to make this happen. So, let me disable one thing just to make it a little bit more clear. I'm turning off the background of it. Okay. All right, there we go. Let's see. Does this work? Yes. All right, so as you see, there's very much not a lot to it, but and you're not going to be able, because the background is off, the flippers are going to look weird. Oh, you know what? I need to try that one more time. I need to turn on some kind of background, otherwise they're just going to look like you're going to see the smear effect because it's not going to clear anything. It's taking longer than I thought, but just one more moment and we'll be back to the game in a sec. Let's make that a black background and okay. Okay, now it won't look so weird. So yes, there's not a lot to it at all, not even a complete table, but you know, there's flippers and stuff. There is, let me make a ball. There's a plunger, and that's right. I need to fix this area because it keeps getting stuck. Again, this isn't the actual table, so I don't really care. I was more just testing its ability to fly through, but you know, there's bumpers. And you know, I can actually hit them with flippers and stuff. So it's just enough to demonstrate, like, yes, I think I will be able to make it a thing. And I'm really excited about that, actually. Eventually, it's probably going to take a long time, but I will eventually be able to try out and do that pinball game that we were talking about. If for those of you who weren't there for it, keep spawning more balls in the launcher. I would, but maybe I'll pull it up again later, and we'll see how much it can take as far as multiple balls. So the pinball game that we're talking about is one where the process of playing pinball is going to be kind of a role-playing experience, where like you have conversations with people through pinball mechanics. Like instead of, you know, how you do different missions and stuff on certain pinball tables, this one would be different dialogue options would depend on like where you sent the ball, and so it wouldn't be unless you were really skilled at it, it wouldn't be completely in your control. It would kind of represent somebody who wants to say the right thing but can't always do that. So yes, very, very minimal progress on it, but enough to suggest that will one day maybe be a thing. Yeah, a very committal answer, but I'm going to try. I may fail, but I'll at least try. I honestly think I might be able to. The main thing that is up in the air is I don't know if it's going to be good, but I think it'll be functional, and it'll be some good practice. And hopefully it'll even be good, and I'm going to certainly put in the time to try and make that the case, but I'm not counting on it. RPG games are not your favorite? Well, then the thing about it would be, thankfully, like, if you enjoy pinball at least, it would still also just be fun as a pinball table. Like, you could utterly ignore the story component of it. It'd kind of be, you know, some people could play it for the story, some people could just play it to get a high score and just enjoy pinball. You'd be able to not give a shit about that, because good Lord knows I play all sorts of games and don't really care about the story of them all the time. But I thought it would be a neat experiment. Something that I did some research since we talked about it, and I've seen one other thing that's at least kind of similar, but not quite that idea. I wasn't able to find anything that had quite that. Oh, totally. I mean, I'm not exactly planning on making this as like, oh, I'm gonna make it big on this one. I'm gonna make so much money off my pinball game, but want to experiment with it as good opportunity to learn more about programming and stuff. And if it winds up catching any attention and people enjoy it, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine. Well, so there's Yoku's, which I didn't really get into personally, but that's more, you know, pinball Metroidvania, not a not a distinct pinball table or anything like that. So, like, it's definitely different, but I understand the comparison, at least. Now, there was one that was also kind of like sort of an RPG sort of thing, but it also wasn't like where you made choices in kind of like a standard fantasy sort of situation by playing pinball, but it also wasn't really a dedicated pinball table. Like, in my vision, it kind of like Yoku's used pinball mechanics, but in a non-pinball table environment. My vision is that ideally this would be something that literally could be a physical, like, you could make this pinball table physically. It wouldn't have to be a video game. Everything could work. I haven't designed it yet, but that's one of my goals, is to make it a thing that if I had the money, I could literally make this pinball table. It would just probably be expensive and complicated, but, like, possible. Give me 1 second here to focus. Yeah. So one of my next goals is that I talked about this with Blink. There we go. I want to go back to an arcade soon. I'm at the stage. Oh my god, you guys. You guys. Oh my god. New territory. New territory that's actually maybe a little bit stable. Oh my god. We did it. We got past the death rock. We're totally gonna go back and fall again. I have every confidence we're going to lose ground again, but we at least have had some victory. I'm gonna have a shot in commemoration of that, because we need something that tastes like success. And to me, that's alcohol. Give me 1 second. Yes, a progress. Oh, I know it only gets harder from there. This is the other reason we're drinking, both in happiness and in preparation for what's coming, of just it all crumbling from me. But cheers, everybody. This is, got this for free. They handed these out at the finish line of Tough Mudder. This is Yukon Jack Honey. It's, you know, not bad. It's a little sweet, and it's 100 proof, so a little strong. But it's not bad, especially for free. I've never had any of the, like, really potent things like that, like 151 or Everclear or anything like. Ha! What was I saying? Okay, so clearly I'm gonna have to commit, push off of this pretty hard, catch myself on the gargoyle. I may not want to be as directly underneath it. Maybe I do and windmill around. But yeah, so we're hopefully going to go to an arcade soon, and I'll get an opportunity. I'm literally going to be bringing a notebook and playing every single pinball game they have, and I'm going to be writing down, like, really trying to play them, not to play, but to just digest, like, what did I like about this one? What did I dislike about it? And over the course of playing a lot of pinball, kind of get some more feelings of, like, what do I like in a pinball game, broadly speaking? What are the trends? What do I want my table to be like? What components do I have? So yeah, I'm going to be doing some research soon, which it's really fun to consider playing a bunch of pinball research, but it truly is. All right, wide circles are our friends. Let's do it. Not like that, though. Until I master the game. All right. Nope. Oh, yeah. I knew it as it was happening. I was like, I didn't get high enough. I need to not arc this, but it was too late. There's one, not with like lots and lots, but there's one that is not too far from me that has like, it usually has a good like, I'd say like 8 machines or so, maybe more. They rotate them in and out. But the other good thing about this place is it's an all-you-can-play model. Like you pay at the door and then just all day you can just play as much as you want, which would work really well for playing like decent amounts of every single machine there and being able to figure that out. I also re-downloaded Space Cadet Pinball, and I've already kind of done it with that. I played a few games to figure out, like, okay, what do I like about Space Cadet Pinball? So I'm going to do it on physical and digital machines and just get a bigger sense of what I do and don't like. But yeah, it's, you may, I don't remember if you were there or not, you may remember we went, there's that time that I streamed from an arcade. One time unsuccessfully and one time successfully because it was a hidden camera. A little place called Family Arcade here in Los Angeles. Really cool place. Good selection that they rotate in and out, and you can always count on them having a pretty decent amount of pinball machines. Yeah, exactly. So there was the one where I got booted because I didn't know the rules and was just had the phone out the whole time. And yes, there was the one that I had a hole cut in my shirt and I was wearing it secretly. But yeah, that place. They've got a lot of pinball machines, so I figured I'd go back.
Oh.
And I feel like I need to reiterate, that place, they really are really cool, and even though they had that policy that prevented me from streaming there, and like, that kind of sucked, they are still a really cool place, and I don't wish ill on them. They were super cool about... So, you know, they weren't always on the all-you-can-play model, and so I had a bunch of tokens saved from pre-pandemic before they came back with that model. And when Blink and Firefly and I went back there... Shit. When we went back, the tokens no longer really had any use, which kind of sucked. Like, it was... I'd spent, like, probably 20 bucks on tokens or so. And I'd already used some of them, but I had maybe, like, at least, like, $5 or $10 worth of tokens still left over. Probably more like 5. I had used a lot of them. But I came there and I was asking, like, is there any way I can exchange this for anything whatsoever? Like, I told them about how I bought a lot right before, you know, they closed down for 2020, and I wasn't able to wind up using them before they switched to models. Because they, you know, 2020 forced them to shut down for a little while, and then they also had to shut down for a fire. Like, they reopened, and then there was a big fire. Like, it was... I'm glad they're still around. It was looking a little dicey for a bit. But the guy who was there was just like, you know, I'm so glad that you've been here for so long. That's really awesome. Hold on to these tokens. You can keep them as a memento. But here, I'll consider you, like, one of you paid for it. So it was me and Blink and Firefly, and he only made us pay for one thing for both of us to come in there. And, like, he's super cool about it. The place has always been, like, a really awesome place. They just have that one thing I don't love, which is that we're not allowed to record video there. But I do love that arcade. See, that's where I disagree. There not being much difference from one pinball machine to the next. As somebody who loves a lot of pinball, there are definitely a lot of trends. You know, aspects that will that you'll see from one machine to the next. But as far as exact layout and exactly how you do it and where you do the focus, there can be some surprising amount of differences. All the little stuff really matters. And more, maybe it less matters as a player, but as far as, like, as somebody who has never designed a pinball machine, like, I'm barely a game designer at all. I've, you know, done some stuff, mostly for the purpose of this stream. Some programming, a little bit of design. Most of what I've learned has been through dungeon mastering and having friends who have done more actual game design. But since I've never designed a pinball table before, like, I need to get down to very specifically what works and doesn't. Just physically, like, what's the spacing on things? Like, how do I make angles and stuff work? What considerations do I need? And, like, what are the features that I'm not as into? Like, I don't have to necessarily design a table like everybody else does. Maybe I'll find there's aspects that are commonly used that I don't really like so much. Yeah, I think it's more, like, I'm not 100% certain why they have the rule of why they don't like people filming there. I think, honestly, what it's more about is, so since I live in Los Angeles, obviously, there's a lot of film and TV productions that happen, and sometimes they need arcades. And I have indeed seen times where, like, I'll be watching a TV show and be like, that is absolutely family arcade. And so I think what it is less about, like, not wanting secrets to get divulged, and more that, you know, for the most part, you don't just film somewhere. Like, that there's location rights and stuff, and they want to make sure that people don't just, like, show up and film a project without them getting at least some kind of cut for, like, the ability to use their location. Do I 100% agree with that decision? No. I feel like there's a massive difference between, like, a production filming there and, like, just some person doing a stream in their place.
No.
I feel like there's some room for both to exist. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's their business. Obviously, I didn't exactly respect that rule when we did our secret stream there. But they're certainly allowed to make that rule. And I have the power to get around it, though very awkwardly. But yeah, I think it's more about that, of just the fact that they don't want to open themselves up to people just filming there for free for, like, an actual real thing.
Oh. What?
But ultimately, I don't know their reasons.
What?
I do know that, I think it was their Facebook page or something that once, mentioned they've got, like, they were celebrating the idea that, like, some streamer had like, some, like, actual streamer, like, not me, but, like, a person with, like, a real following had come there, and, like, it sounds like they may be accommodating, like, they were at least accommodating to that, and they were really happy about it. My guess is that if I had come there and asked them first, they may have been cool about it. But just showing up and doing it without getting permission, they were less cool about. And honestly, like, I can kind of respect that. Like, if that's the case. That they just wanted to know in advance and make sure to, you know, give people the choice to be, like, they wanted to make sure that they didn't have... I'm now speculating and putting words in their mouth, but perhaps they were trying to make sure that anybody who was there, like any of their other paying customers that didn't want to get filmed or streamed, weren't getting filmed or streamed. Obviously, there's a lot of people, a lot of streamers, big and small, that don't always have the most respect for that.
No.
So, like, I can see them wanting to preserve their other paying clients and protecting them in that way. Wanting to make sure they could have the proper signage and things like that, make sure that everybody was aware of what was going on. And if that's the case, I'm completely on board with their reasoning. But I'm, of course, completely speculating right now, so I don't know. But based on every other interaction I've had with them on every other matter, be it turning in the tokens or the time that I had some constructive criticism about they had a loud speaker playing music right above a DDR machine. And I mentioned on their page, like, hey, you know, that makes it really difficult to play Dance Dance Revolution because you can't hear the music very well. And they were totally great about it. They're like, you're right, they like responded right away and like, we're going to disable that loudspeaker. So like in every other interaction, they've been a really cool place. So I'm guessing that it's something like what I said, that they were just kind of trying to look out for the other people there that maybe don't want to be filmed. Yeah, exactly. Like, agreed. Unless you're a big streamer, you're not making a lot of you're not making a lot of money, and it's not like they're looking for a cut of that. Yeah, I don't know. My best guess, having now rambled on about it for a while, is what I've said. And in answer to the question that you asked so long ago, Chai, yes, that arcade. If you ever happen to be out there, gotta check this arcade called Galloping Ghost. There's like 800 or so games. Nice. Yeah, there's not a lot of... Like, for as big of a city as Los Angeles is, like, there are arcades, totally. Though, honestly, not a... Damn it. I'm getting kind of distracted. But in a good way. I'm enjoying chatting with y'all. The game has become a little bit more background for me. There's not... I can't think of any places, and I've certainly been looking for them, that have just, like, that level of machines and games. Or anywhere close to it. And, like, I've been looking for a good barcade, and we've got, like, some, but they seem, like, at best, okay. $20 and all you can play night. Yeah, Family Arcade is, I think, 25. I think that's a good... Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I feel like that's a good price point for it. Because that's about at the limit of what I would probably spend at any given day. So I feel like that's a good point to be like... I've given them my $20. That was all the money they were going to get out of me. And it's rare that I would pay even that much, but if I do, at least now I can really enjoy it while I'm there. 40 machine, that's awesome. Okay, hold on, I need to know then, in as specific of terms as you're comfortable telling me, you said if I'm ever out there, where is there? I forget. I know I had a guess for one, the barber, but I can't remember if I've ever known what part of the country you're in. I don't remember now. Where is there? I guess I could just look up Galloping Ghost and find out, probably, but... Oh wait, they just added a dedicated pinball area with 40 machines, and that's $15, though. Even better. There's actually a really cool place in Rochester, back when I used to go there more often to visit Blink and Firefly before we lived together. I don't remember what it was called. I think potentially... Was that Blipsy Barcade? Or am I thinking of something else? There's a place in Rochester. There's a barcade. We did a stream there once. I don't think it was called Blipsy. I think that's a place in Los Angeles. Yeah, that is. Never mind. But there was a barcade there, and I can't remember the name. It had a lot of pinball machines. We hung out there a lot, and we were only there this one time, but that night we were there for a while playing a lot of stuff, and it wasn't all you can play, sadly, but it was a really cool place. Brookfield, Illinois. Got it. How close is that to... How close is Brookfield to Chicago? Because there's at least a chance I've got some friends out in Chicago that maybe someday I'll be visiting. I don't have any specific plans, but that at least seems conceivable. Oh, did he? Okay, cool. God, I used to watch, like, everything James Rolfe did. I used to be really into that channel. It's been a while, but... Shit. Let's get my mouse closer to my body again. It was starting to slip away from me. 20... Oh, 20... Yeah, that's... God, that's basically the same place, then, as far as I'm concerned. I go to places that are... I drove more than 20 minutes away today while still firmly staying in Los Angeles, so, yeah. Then, yeah, that at least seems possible that someday I might actually be out in that direction. 4.5 star. Yeah. Well, thanks for the recommendation. I will try and remember if I ever do go out there to. I may probably need a reminder when that day comes, but I'll try and hit you up and ask you like, what was that place? Because again, I don't have any specific plans to go out there, so it's probably not going to be a short enough time for me to remember what you said, but hopefully I'll at least remember that you mentioned there was a place and that I want to know more information about it. Oh, crap. Come on, mouse, stop slipping from me. What time is it? 8:45? I've been streaming for coming up on 2.5 hours. Okay. I feel like tonight, much as this has been helpfully distracting me from my body's soreness, I don't imagine going longer than like 3 hours tonight. So we'll say, let's just say that. I think I've got another like 40-ish minutes in me. So I want to make sure to spend enough time with Blink and all that. I haven't seen her a lot this weekend because yesterday I was gone all day doing the race, and today I've been out doing errands and now this, so I don't want to spend too long doing it tonight. But I still gotta, we gotta get back to the area. Like we actually finally had some kind of success. There's maybe a chance that we could end on a high note. I almost did then, because we had reached that new spot, and I was like, if I just hit stop streaming right now and quit this game, I can end on success. It's never happened truly before, but it could happen. You have, yeah, you've been here basically since the beginning, Meh. I think you were, if not the first person here, I think at least the first person to say hello. You know what? You may not have meant that sincerely, but honestly, some amount of it, at least getting past that one part that was really frustrating, legitimately, I have you to thank for it. Like, your advice on the wide circles, legitimately made that go by way better than before in a repeatable way. So, like, I honestly do thank you. Like, thank you very much for that. Like, yeah, maybe your help hasn't been the difference on this entire run, but it definitely did there. And, like, I'll own up to it and say you've been very helpful. And if nothing else, you've got the award for most chatty tonight, which I'm always on board with. You know, as I've mentioned earlier, I am here entirely for the social experience. You know, I enjoy playing video games, and this one specifically, and I would do that even without y'all present. But the reason I do it on Twitch is because I like doing it while also talking with y'all. So you've got the gold medal, at least, unless somebody really outdoes you in the next 40 minutes somehow. You've got the gold medal tonight on that. On making this a social thing. Ooh, I almost popped up enough to grab the boxes up there just right away, but then didn't do it. Yeah, cool. Well, as mentioned, like, there is a YouTube channel that has like some kind of. You said you're not really into RPGs though, right? If you're not into RPG games, I doubt you're going to be into most of what's on my YouTube channel, which is a little bit of cello music and then a lot of old recorded Twitch streams of like pen and paper RPGs I was doing. But then hopefully at some point there's going to have some more, we're going to get some more gaming stuff on there. Oop. I'm kind of the same way though, as far as burning. Like, I get started and then we'll burn out on content. Like, that happened to me basically twice this week on, I mentioned it earlier, those like kind of video game, video essayists on YouTube. I should probably list who they are. One of them is, see, I'd have to pull it up. I actually don't remember their names, but There's a couple of them that I've been watching. Like, as soon as I was like, I liked this one video, it turned quickly into, now I'm going to watch every single one of them. Yeah, you still set on, like, staying up all night? Or is the fact that it's only 10:49 now making you think, like, oh man, it's only 10:49 and I already feel this way? Are you having second thoughts? Oh, I can't believe I caught even the tiniest lip of that. Like, the fact that, even though I slipped off afterwards, the fact that I actually held on to the tiny lip of that slide for a moment, it was a moment.
Oh.
Okay, back we go. Really? Holy crap, yeah. No kidding. That is more extreme than I've ever done. Like, at best, like, I've binged YouTube channels that's maybe, like, I don't know, a handful of hours of material, maybe? I've done that, but binging every stream for the last 2 years from somebody, that is, unless those are some really short streams, that is indeed pretty intense. Like, I tip my hat to you. I wish I had more content for you to readily available for you to binge through, but sadly there's only so much that's there. So I can give you a hard drive, and then there's years of stuff, but it would be so different from this anyway, because most of it's me playing cello requests. Oh, they were all live. I gotcha. Okay, well then that is a little bit different. I thought you meant like you went back through archives and just watched like 2 years worth of somebody's streams. I got it. Oh, we certainly always looking for new faces to stick around. Nobody ever has any kind of obligation to show up, no matter how regular they've once been. Nobody ever has any obligation to show up to any stream, but always looking for new people to kind of join our quirky community. And if you're back on any other ones, then all the better. You're certainly welcome. Oh, Wick's always here. He may be lurking at times, but like, Wick has seen it all. You can always get, like, at any given moment, if I really needed to, I assume this is probably true even in my daily life. Like, if I was having some trouble and I needed Wick's input and I just looked over my shoulder and it was like, hey, Wickinator, how many tablespoons are in a cup? He may not know the answer, but he'd probably at least hear his name, and he was lurking in the background and would be like, oh yeah, like I can tell you. Wick's around. I totally believe Wick's got over 1,000 hours. That's not a shock in the slightest. Right, yeah. Well, I can tell you these days, it's all basically gaming streams. Sometimes we'll take a break and, like, any given night we might change to some other material. Like, it might be like a handful of games, like a few hours here, a few hours here. Some nights they're longer ones. As I mentioned tonight, I think I've got about 3 hours in me just based on personal life factors. But sometimes it's more like 8. It just kind of depends. Usually those longer ones are not all one activity. Though I guess last week kind of was. Oh. Look like Scrapman. I'm not familiar with Scrapman, but I'll, for the moment, until I've seen otherwise, I'll take that as a... I'm going to take that as an act of war. Say that this is casus belli for invading your territory. This was such an affront. Based on, you know, not knowing who that is. How dare you? The Scrapman? A person whom I don't know? I draw swords at thee. You just have to tell me where your territory is so that I can invade it. Go on now. Holy shit. Sorry for that major mic smack. I hope that wasn't too loud, any headphone users. Just, you can see my burning passion at this act of war. You flustered me. Just like backhanded that mic with my thumb. If I can find your... That's right, you mentioned earlier how it's like a desert area that you hate. Well, you think that now, but you're gonna miss it when it's gone. I'm coming for it. Clearly very valuable land. Yeah, I'm very sorry, Narc. That was very unintentional. I will do whatever penance is necessary. What if you're 13 accounts? Are you saying that I can invade the territories of Meh Industries, but I can't invade your other 12? Like, you're spread all over the world. It's almost like a like having your IP hid behind a proxy, or like trying to take out a terrorist cell. Like I can take out one aspect, but the head of the Hydra will regrow. Meh Industries cannot be taken down through war. Yeah, fair enough. I guess I should ask. You've been plenty active on here, and you mentioned how you've got a lot of hours in this. This, I guess, goes out to anybody here. Anybody here also a streamer that wants to self-promote a little bit? Now is your time. I'm totally open to anybody who wants to talk about stuff they stream or have on the internet or want people to check out. Or maybe you have an Etsy store. Anything you want to self-promote. Office hours are now open. Who has shit they want to talk about? I'm open to it. And I want to know, where can we send some love? Oh, I see. Kansas, huh? I know at least one other person who may have thoughts on me taking Kansas. They may think that I have no rights to it. I'll try to explain as best I can what happened here tonight, but I don't think she'll respect that. You got nothing? Alright, fair enough. Obviously, this is... Clearly, the rules are, if you don't have anything to promote, then you must start something. That's the cost for being here. It's kind of like, if this is your first time at Fight Club, you have to fight. If this is your first time at self-promotion, you have to self-promote. So everybody get cracking. Make a quick website, or, you know, bend some craft wire together or something and be like, I'll sell this to you. I don't know why you'd want it, but $50. What's your online territory? That's more important. Okay. Well, obviously, you've told me your greatest weakness. You've obviously never been to war before. I must find out everything I can about you and make it all crumble. Your online territory. Half-Life Antlion on YouTube. Okay. Look, okay, wait, hold on. You have a board game that you haven't made? I assume this means one that you're coming up with right now because I said you have to promote something now, but like, more legit. So that's where your mind went. You would make a board game. What would your game be? Like, if you were to make this game, like, what kind of board game would that be? I'm here for your pitch. You got me hooked. Reel me in. Momentum Mod, a game that you make maps for. Okay, hold on. I'm saving that real quick. It's a free standalone movement-focused platformer built on the Source engine. Okay, I'm going to keep that tab open because that does sound... Those are various keywords that I am kind of interested in. However, I feel like that wasn't self-promotion. That was promoting somebody else. So you make maps for that game. Where can we find those maps? How can I find what Average Genius has created? Also, I don't want to lose my opportunity to say it. That's really cool, making maps. Oh, god damn it. Okay. At least we caught ourselves on the orange car. We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning. Just the slide. Oh, hey! That means we've confirmed what's at the top of the slide. I should have realized by now that's what that was every time we've hit it, but that's what the stuff past the kid looks like. Oh, the maps are within the game. I gotcha. So if we searched just your Average Genius, would we find your stuff? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, based on those keywords, I was like, I would probably like that. I see. Well, when it does come out, then yeah, please let us know. Someday I might check that out, and if your maps are out by then, we'll definitely check out your maps if you're there to tell me where they are, and if I remember and all that. I gotcha. No, obviously we won't actually, dox you and find out everything about your online persona, but it doesn't mean we're any less at war for, that slight that I am choosing to assume is a slight, even though it probably isn't. I can't say I've heard of that comparison before. I've heard of I feel like the one I've gotten most often is Frank Zappa. An idea for a war game based in your own neighborhood. Incorporate your friends. It's about a traveling baseball team that was heading to a game and got sucked into another world and had to fight weird monsters and stuff. They had to use different types of pitches and stuff as their ability. Gotcha. It definitely sounds like something that's got room as like just a very niche setting for like a tabletop RPG, if nothing else. That's cool. Well, you have self-promoted your future thing that you may never get to, but we've heard about it here first. I'm ready for your Kickstarter. Okay, that's right. I think I know. I feel like you've mentioned that at some point. That just your eventual ruler. Cool. All right, let's see. I'm gonna focus temporarily. I've been real chatty for a while, and I'm enjoying it. But you know what I'll enjoy? The taste of getting back to those rocks and then failing. We need that. Just let me get some additional focus real quick. Get there.
Oh, no.
By the way, that y'all know me, or at least some of y'all better than others. You know that focus that I spoke of is going to last, like, at best about 90 seconds. I can't commit to just sitting here silently. That's not going to happen. But let's just pretend for a moment, even as I'm illustrating that it's not going to happen. Let's pretend that we all believe it'll happen.
What?
I'm not familiar with War Thunder. What's that all about?
Oh.
Wait, okay, hold on. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. There's everything on YouTube. So I'm assuming since you do it that you're not the only one who does it. There are sections of YouTube that are like commentary on people playing games of Go. That's legitimately, like, that is so unique that's cool. Like, obviously I'm not into the Go community or anything, but I think that's awesome. Kind of like a World War II sim. I can't say that that's necessarily the most up my alley. I'm not like against it. I certainly play my more action-y games and have done shooters and all of that. I don't know if it's a shooter, but I play games of all sorts. But admittedly, it's not necessarily the thing I'm most into. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess I'm not as surprised, but like it's just a new section of YouTube I hadn't really considered, and that's so cool. In that, very nerdy, not cool by a, like, typical definition kind of way, but cool to me. And if that has any value to you, which it absolutely shouldn't, you can consider it cool. I think it's cool, but I am the worst measuring stick on that. Mandustries on Twitch. Yeah, they're certainly doing that. Do you indeed stream stuff from that? Was it War Thunder? I think you said, or anything else? Got to make full use of self promo time while the window is open.
No.
That's true. I can hear your actual voice. Honestly, the biggest determination of whether or not I do that is just if when this is all, like, I'm not going to do it right now, so it's all just whether or not I remember when I'm offline, because I am legitimately interested in checking that out to see, like, what commentary on a game of Go would look like, and as long as I'm doing that, I might as well check out yours. So it's all just whether or not I remember. So if you send me a reminder, that will make it more likely this will actually happen, and I'll try and draw, with my one view, more of the algorithm's attention on you. Commentary on commentary. I'm confident, like, YouTube's a weird and wide enough place somewhere, not necessarily for Go specifically, but there must be commentary on commentary. If nothing else, since it happened in Bo Burnham's Inside, now there must be people who are doing it, even if it didn't exist beforehand. Just remind me. Yeah. Exactly. Definitely. Like, send me a DM, because, like, legitimately, I do want to check that out. But I know that I will absolutely forget if you don't give me something permanent like that. Because it's one of those things that, like, I have a genuine interest in, but not in a, like, fundamental enough way for me to, like, hold on to that information. But I'm always looking for things to listen to while at work, so something like that could definitely fill that void. War Thunder is free to play. Well, that definitely helps. But I've got, so I kind of mentioned earlier, like, a decent-ish backlog of things that I want to get to. Ideally, like, I keep hoping that we can actually wrap this up in, like, a few more streams, which may be folly. I may just wind up having to, it only just now hit me when I was like, I'm only going to be quiet for like 90 seconds. I didn't even make it that long. I've been talking consistently since I said that. It only now hit me. I got lost in that trap. But yes, I was hoping to finish this up so I can move on to some other things. It may just be that I'm gonna have to just split my attention. Like, any given week we might spend some time doing this and some time doing some of these other games that are less constantly losing progress. But maybe eventually I'll check out War Thunder. But again, I don't imagine it's, like, gonna be a top priority for me, just based on what you've said about it. It sounds like I don't have anything against it, but not a priority one for me. Do you know if you can pay people on Twitch to do board game art for you? I don't know about on like, as far as Twitch, I don't have any specific recommendations, but I know there's obviously, like, the creative community has got all kinds of people that definitely take commissions. So yes, any of the real popular ones would probably have a decent backlog, and I don't know what what they would charge for it, but as far as the direct answer to that question, absolutely. It's all about finding the person who's got the right style for you and the right availability, but there are definitely people you can commission for it. There, and, like, you know, just DeviantArt and all that.
What?
Yeah, I wish I knew a specific person to mention, but I've, with a little bit of shame, have frequently talked about how, like, I've spent basically all my time on here as the streamer. I spend so little time kind of paying it back and watching people. I do it a little bit, but it's been a very one-directional thing. So I have no specific recommendations, but I know they're out there. I've seen, you know, their booths at TwitchCon and all that. So wait, so there's a grinding component. See, I know you said, so, like, World War II simulation, but, like, what's, like, that's, I guess, like, the kind of like the paint on top, like the genre in that sense, but, like, what's the gameplay like? Is it indeed a shooter? I mean, I'd have to, like, World War II, I'd have to assume that, but obviously it could be more of a tactics thing. It could be, like, there's still a lot of room for what World War II could encompass. So, oh, you got COVID. I can't remember if you told me that or not, but that's a bummer. I hope it was relatively mild, whatever you experienced. Mild to non-existent as far as symptoms. I have...
No.
There we go. Saved that one. I've so far managed to continue... to my knowledge, anyway, I've not yet gotten anything. I'm hoping to keep that trend alive. We'll see if I got it at Tough Mudder, though. There were a lot of people there. Not as many as the first time I went, but was certainly in contact with more people in a more physical situation than usual. I hope I didn't, but we shall see. Come on now.
Oh, what?
Handful of okay. I feel like what you're talking about with War Thunder is starting to sound a little bit more familiar. Like, I feel like I maybe read an article about this or something. Maybe. I'm not certain. Right, yeah. So it's like an MMO kind of... like, just big battlefield. Like, not MMO in that sense, but, like, massive battlefield kind of situation. Is that... do I have the right of it? Yeah, I don't want to give the wrong impression. I've definitely enjoyed that sort of thing in the past, but like, and I used to spend a lot of time playing like, you know, Battlefield and stuff like that. Like, I'm not against that sort of thing as a genre, but my God damn it, no. Recent years have been, what I have time for has shifted a lot. And there's just certain, I don't do a lot of multiplayer anymore. I used to not do a lot, but some. It's kind of just the curse of now I have money isn't the problem for playing games. Like, it's time. And so I gotta prioritize the things that I'm most interested in any given moment. Which is sometimes hard to determine. Okay, so it is like an MMO. I gotcha. Let's see. Can I assume that this is something that you spend a decent amount of time playing yourself? Okay, almost there, almost there. Almost back to the rocky section. I don't know how we've had so much trouble going from the toilet. This is really not that hard of a section, but there we go. Alright, almost there, checking the time. Okay, based on the time that I said, I've got like 10 minutes left, so let's see if I can indeed get back to that new territory beneath the gargoyle before we finish. I'm hopeful maybe that can happen. Unfortunately, 10 minutes is so long that I imagine I can maybe get there and then lose that ground all over again, but we'll see. Yeah, no, exactly. I get what you're talking about. The idea, like, just being the one cog in a big machine of what's happening in this massive battlefield. Like, the idea of that sounds... I like it in theory, but as far as in practice, I don't see myself spending a lot of time with that sort of thing. Even though I do think it sounds cool. Oh, still alive as far as COVID. I gotcha. I just read back and saw the, like, went to the ER and all that. I see. Woke up, got a drink of water. I'm doing the thing that I've sometimes been like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It was like reading chat backwards. I should catch up to the context first. So you woke up, got a drink of water, couldn't catch your breath at all, and then collapsed. Woke up. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I'm definitely glad that you're okay. Glad you made it through to the other side. Obviously, dependent on... God damn it. Dependent on many factors. There are many people whose progress goes very differently from that. So I'm glad you were not one of them. We're not at war, so I'm not I'm happy about your survival. A decade or holy crap. Okay, I didn't realize that game was that old. That's That's some history. Are there servers that have been like the battle has been going on for 10 years, or is it like reboot fairly often? Because that would be fucking insane if there's just like a 10-year history of just the way that the battlefield has been evolving in this kind of MMO. Yeah, I bet. You know, I haven't had that exact experience, but I can certainly empathize with the idea of being really terrified by the idea of passing out. So a long time ago, I've probably told this story at some point or another. Just I've talked about myself from so many different angles, it's probably come up. But in case it hasn't, many years ago, when I was jobless and living out of a hotel, I had been looking for work, and I actually had a pretty good lead on potentially working at Pixar. One of my professors knew one of the people who is like pretty high up in post-production. I leveraged that to send him like an email directly, and got in on a position, like got considered for getting started at Pixar as a like, I think as a post-production assistant. Like I originally applied to be a second assistant editor, and they were like, maybe not that, but if you want to start lower down. And so anyway, I went through and like I had a phone interview, and it went pretty well. And I then went from that to like they were trying to be really clear, like they weren't going to pay for moving expenses or anything. They knew like Pixar is based out of Emeryville, which is outside of San Francisco, and they knew I lived in Los Angeles at the time. They're like, we wouldn't pay for your moving expenses or anything, but if you're still interested, like we do want to move forward with you. Do you want to come out with for an in-person interview? And I was super excited about that. I was like, yes, absolutely. And I booked a flight, came out there, did an in-person interview, and it went pretty well. Like it seemed like we really connected on a lot of things. I was there for a long time, spent some time in Emeryville while I was out there, and went home. I was really excited about it. I was like, holy shit, like I think maybe I'm gonna work at Pixar. And for full context, this was back in like 2009. So like Pixar was golden back then. They've had some kind of stinkers ever since, some things that didn't quite hit with me as much, but back then, if it was Pixar, you could count it was going to be fucking amazing. Just, they could do no wrong. So I was so excited about the idea. So anyway, you know, I tell everybody that I know about how like this is going so great. I think it might be a thing. Maybe I'm going to move to San Francisco. I'll get a new job, or Emeryville or somewhere. Like I'll be in the area, the Bay Area. My life may be changing. I think I might get to work at Pixar and like get to work on some really cool stuff. God damn it. And so anyway, at this time, as a reminder, I am unemployed. I am living out of a hotel. Life otherwise is not great. I spend most of these days, I'm pretty much broke. I'm eating a baked potato a day to save money. I've got nothing to do. I'm basically just lying in bed all day. So everything else in my life is not going great. But I have this one beacon of hope that's looking like really, really good. And so I'm in my hotel, and one day I get a call on my phone, and I see it's the number that I've been that I've seen every time that I've ever talked to Pixar. Like, I recognize this number. It's the person I've been in contact with regarding this whole interview process. And I get super excited. I'm like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. They're calling me back. Because for the other full context, you know, everything else I'm doing right now, like I've been applying for all kinds of jobs. Like, nobody ever gets back to me. This is, again, it's 2009. Like, nobody can find any work doing anything. It's super hard to get started in the industry. I'm fresh out of college. I've had work in the past, but I can't find anything. So I get this call, and she said, you know, it's, I don't want, just in case I'm not going to say her name, but it's, you know, X person from Pixar. And, you know, if I had a tail, it would be wagging significantly at this point. I'm super excited about, like, oh my God, this is the moment. She's like, I wanted to talk to you about the, post-production assistant position. unfortunately, we gave it to somebody else. And I just wanted to let you know we really appreciate this process. Like you've been really great. We did have to go with another candidate, but thank you so much for applying and all. The full-on letdown, and in that moment, like the huge shift from the emotional high of thinking like my life is about to change. Like I'm gonna have a job. I'm gonna have a place to live. Things are gonna be okay now, because I spent most nights not knowing how I was going to get out of this situation. Like, do I have a path forward? From the emotional highs of like, that's going to happen. It's finally happening. It's going to be at a place I'm really excited about to finding out, no, it fell apart. Yeah, we're going in a different direction. It hit me so hard in that moment that my head, like I was able to like get out enough words to end the phone call. But then my head went all numb. I could barely stand, and I like stumbled back to my bed, feeling really lightheaded. I was able to type out just enough, like I was a Google Hangout status of like my head is feeling really swimmy and I'm having trouble standing, and then I collapsed on the keyboard, and that status ended in just like 26, 27K, something like that. And I woke up on the floor. So, having never been in that experience before of passing out like that, I know exactly what you're talking about, of how incredibly scary it is to wake up and realize, like, oh fuck, like, I collapsed there. I was fucking terrified. I climbed up from the floor, realizing what had happened, almost passed out again in that process, and it was, like, really trying to keep, like, get it together, take some deep breaths, and, like, calm back down. It was a super scary time. Obviously, things have kind of worked out a little bit more since then. I got my life together, but there's still times I'll go back and look at that status that I posted where I just collapsed on the keyboard while posting it, and like it's a fucking scary thing to look at just because it brings back all those memories of like trying desperately to get a message out as I realize like I'm losing consciousness and I need help. Like, whoa. Scary times. Yeah. But anyway, all that being said, to lighten things back up again, I'm glad that you're doing okay, Jai. I'm glad that, scary as that was, you've gotten through to the other side and you're feeling better. And I don't know how long ago that was, but yeah, glad you're through to the other side. Yeah, it was one of the more intense moments of my life. I've never had that happen quite like that ever again, of just fainting from just the emotional exhaustion of it all. But I can now attest, like, it can totally happen. That kind of blood pressure change. It's real, as is falling and losing and all that. And okay, so I mentioned I was going to end at 3 hours. We're basically right exactly there. Kind of at the exact same part that we started this stream. But yeah, that's how it goes with all this. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of feel like I wasted your time with this video. After 3 more hours and still basically at the same part, you might be getting ready to give up. Trust me, I know how you feel, but here's the thing. I promise you, in the next video, there is so much progress that finally comes. All of this struggle finally starts to pay off. Now, as of this recording, I still haven't actually beaten the game, which means as of this recording, there's still a chance for you to be there live when the sweet, sweet taste of victory finally comes. I'm Midnight Jester 8 on Twitch, and this is just one of the games that I stream every Sunday night starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So click the link down in the description, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get to see a miracle. Next in the series, though, there's finally a little taste of hope, so stick around.